Bruce, what really flips me out is when people don't do anything. They're like, we don't need to, we don't need to. They put it off, they put it off. And the next thing you know, the husband or their wife forgets how to drive home. They forget the
Yeah.
directions. They're like, I think I'm on North Scottsdale Road or am I on South Scottsdale
That's
Road?
my wife.
I don't know. No,
The other thing they put off that I found a lot? Trusts.
Oh.
Yeah, this lady didn't have a lot. She wanted a trust. Laura wanted a trust because she has a son that's special needs.
Oh, okay.
And you can't give them money. So you have to give it to the trust, which hires somebody, to watch over that money. It's called a successor trustee. And we're going to help. We're going to help her with it
because that if you just give it right to them, they could maybe not use it in the best way, or because it messes up with their disability insurance.
Correct. The latter of the two again. It messes with their disability insurance, so it has to be in a special needs trust.
Okay.
How do you know about all this stuff? These are the things that people talk to me about on a daily basis, and I just wait for the call, or I get referred, or a lot of advisors like CPAs and accountants, or CPAs are accountants or attorneys. They call us and they refer people. And so, when you meet somebody that you like that's helped you, you should tell other people about them.
Yes.
And we have a really good network for people like that,
right.
Whether it's a landscaper or a pool guy, a painter, HVAC,
let's
things like
remind people of what you have in-house as well before we get to the hard stop here at the break.
Sure.
You have auto insurance in-house, right?
Yep.
You're so well connected. Everywhere you guys go, you're like, hey, yeah, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you. And these are, doctors, lawyers, whatever.
Sure. So auto, home, trust we can help with. We have software that we've paid for.
Yes, of course.
Business valuations I've done for people. My accountant gets me, a ton of them because they just need a basic valuation. Because if you get a legal valuation to sell your business, that's from a CFA. It's about $8,000 to $10,000. Where I charge $1,500 just for my time, and I produce one. My first and most important thing are my 3 children, and having a plan and having a trust, folks, is really important. And make sure, one of the things I said to Laura, we've been bringing up Laura a lot, we use certain examples of people that are our callers from the radio.
Yes.
And, Laura's not a very sophisticated investor at all. She doesn't have a lot of money. She needed a lot of help. She was very curious about trusts, what they were, how they work. And we discussed all that. But she was so kind. She's like, I just want all my money to go to my kids, especially my special needs kid, who's, mentally disabled. And I said to her with the trust, I said, when you pick this person that you entrust, you better trust them with your life, because that person is going to be in charge when you die of your money that you're going to leave your kids, and your health and your power of attorney for financial, if you can't make healthcare or financial decisions because you're disabled. So and they don't have to be the same people.
I was wondering, does it have to be the same person?
No.
Okay.
And so you better make sure that person is somebody that you really, really trust. And she's coming back next week to do it. And if you don't, because once you're dead, you can't change it,
Right.
And while you're alive, you can change it as much as you want. But when you're dead, you can't.
No.
No one's immortal. And I talked to people that had millions of dollars, okay, from the show, like millions, like $10 million in real estate alone. No trust. I said, well, an attorney. And I said, well, why didn't you do a trust? She said, because it's a pain in the neck with the mortgage companies. If I ever want to refi or do something.
Wow.
And it's in the trust. I said, not anymore. Not like it used to be.
Oh, see?
Not anymore. Education
is key.
I said, the reason why you have a family trust is for, again, she hasn't even inherited all her money yet. There's millions in real estate that she's going to inherit. You have to set this up properly for tax purposes and for the benefit of your children, or half of it's going to go to the government. And it's not a probatable asset. You don't want to go through probate. Every deed you have is either going to be, either the trust owns it or it's a transfer on death to the trust. It's one or the other. I put it in the trust because once you die, that asset becomes creditor protected. But it's not.
Oh.
That's another misinformation thing that people think is that trusts are credited protected, and they're not creditor asset protected until you first die. Now there are irrevocable trusts that are creditor protected, but don't make irrevocable decisions at 50 years old unless you're worth $20 million. That's a different story, or higher. But if you're worth $1,500,000 to $1 million, you don't need to make irrevocable decisions. You make revocable decisions and look for asset protected products, because there's products out there like life insurance and annuities that are asset protected. Your home has a homestead exemption of a certain amount of money. There are things that can get you, and then you can buy the umbrella insurance that protects you, because the biggest chance of being sued is driving your car, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You run over
the accident
somebody,
rate
God forbid.
is so high in the valley. It's just shocking.
Yeah, people are texting and driving, which is going to cause accidents, and then you get sued, and then what?
Right.
I'm looking at
You're going to become
insurance.
destitute then?
Yeah, I'm looking at insurances at minimum coverage, folks. Minimum coverage is $25,000. It's not 50. When you see 25, 50 doesn't mean you're covered for that. That's an aggregate for everybody in the car.
Oh.
You're covered for $25,000. If you have $25,000 of liability coverage, I guarantee you your property damage is $10,000, which means you may not even be able to replace your car for $10,000 if it's a newer car. So you better look at your insurances. And people don't take it like, oh, I don't really care. I just give it to my agent. I don't really care. Well, I do, because it's liability protection. Don't you want your lawyer sitting next to you in your car while you're driving? Well, that's called umbrella coverage, folks. And we can help with that. And it's very inexpensive too, by the way. So there are so many things that you could do that are inexpensive. Like people tell me, why didn't anybody ever, why does always people say that life insurance is a bad investment? Well, because it's not sold as an investment. It's a savings account, or it's pure protection. It's one or the other. And the oldest form of insurance is whole life insurance. It's been around for 150 years. So why has it been around for 150 years? Well, because there was no term insurance back then, or universal life, or IUL, and all these things that people think that are the great. Stick to one or the other, okay? Term insurance has a purpose. You're in a business. You're in a partnership. You got a specific period of time, and then you don't need it anymore because you're going your way and he's going or she's going their way. But if you could have permanent insurance, you would, because it has so many tax benefits to it, and it is such a good product to have in retirement, and everyone's telling you not to do it. Dave Ramsey's telling you not to do it. Well, guess what? He owns a term insurance company. He's telling you to buy term insurance, and he owns the company that these people are selling you.
Oh, golly.
So, you know what? You got to think behind the scenes. There's something, and the reason why he's saying it, he's not a fiduciary. He's not licensed, but you're listening to Dave Ramsey. Every person that comes in to talk to me listens to Dave Ramsey. I'm not going to speak badly about him because then I'm insulting someone's intelligence. Does he have things to say that are correct with debt? Yes, he does. He's on Fox News. Well, I should be on Fox News because I'm in favor of everything he says and more. Because just because he tells you not to do something doesn't mean that his works that's for you. You have to explore, and you have to keep an open mind when you talk to anybody, especially me. Just take all your opinions and leave them out the door, and let's just have a conversation.
Premier Southwest Planning Group, LLC is a registered investment advisor. The content of this advertisement is intended for informational purposes only and is not intended to be investment advice. The views expressed in this program are subject to change based on market and other conditions.